Good luck.
Thank you.
Merhaba arkadaşlar, hepiniz IEFT Talks webinarlarına hoş geldiniz. Bugün Jönköping University'de özel programları, eğitimi ve İsveç'te yaşamı Jasmine'den dinliyor olacağız. Lütfen sorularınızı questions kısmından sormayı unutmayın. Yes, Jasmine, the stage is yours now.
Oh, thank you very much, Zainab. So, hi everyone. My name is Jasim Sheikh, and as you guys can see that I don't look like a blonde, but I'm representing a Swedish university. So obviously I'm not Swedish. So perhaps you're discouraged by it, but don't be. I was once upon a time a student like yourself who was trying to select a country for his education. So back in 2006, actually. So and the funny thing is, when I was going to choose for my education, I told my father that I'm going to come back in 2 years of time after finishing my master's. And my father still calls me sometimes and asks me, by the way, when are your 2 years finishing? So you know, it's kind of long 2 years going on for me and for my father as well. So so what I'm trying to say is that this country has so much to offer. And once you get around to know the rules and regulations and the quality of life and the quality of education and quality of people in this country, it becomes extremely hard for you to move back from these qualities. So, and this is exactly what has happened with my life. And today I will share with you all some of those experiences, and also that, you know, why should you select Jönköping University, and why should you select Sweden as a country? What makes these choices to be the smart choices, and what could be the benefits for you guys to come and start up your education with us. So to begin this, I have prepared a presentation which we will go through together. And if you have any questions, we will take those questions in the end. And I will hopefully be able to answer all of the questions which will be raised today. So please feel free to write your questions, and we will take them in the end. So let's see. I'm going to, do the sharing. So.
You're already sharing your screen, Jess.
Yes,
so...
I'm sorry. I can now see that. I'm just going to be just
switch to the presentation.
Yeah, exactly. So can you see the full presentation mode now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So you can see that the first slide says create your own tomorrow. What does that mean is that we think and we believe that people who come to study with us have the ability to create whatever tomorrow they want to, and that ability comes with the quality of education, the way we teach education, the industry placements, the internships, the practical experience during the education. So a lot of those kind of things together can help make your tomorrow, and we will talk about it. So first thing first, let's say, I don't know if you know about where Sweden is. Sweden is in West Europe. It's a country in, you know, Scandinavia. So where we share borders with Norway, and Denmark, Finland. So you can, you know, it's usually people think that it's quite a cold country, but we are pretty down in the south. So it's not as cold as one would expect, perhaps quite similar weather to London, I would say. So Sweden has a lot of beautiful landscape. Obviously, we have winters where you'll be able to experience snow, for example. We also have a lot of beautiful lakes and greenery where you can experience, you know, swimming in the lakes, and that's happening during summertime, obviously. And the landscape itself is quite beautiful. So we have mild summers, and you know, many kind of opportunities to experience if you love nature. Many people know Sweden with a lot of different things. For example, IKEA is one of the things which really people associate Sweden with. And Volvo, for example, a lot of people associate Sweden with it. Nobel Prize Gala Dinner, which is one of the pictures you can see on the left side. That's also something that people associate, this with Sweden. So what I'm trying to say is that, you will see a lot of these kind of smart things and smart innovations and smart technologies, which are Swedish produced or Swedish set up. And quite often you may know about them and quite often you may not know about them. So I will give some examples around this. Some of the companies which have done enormously well around the world and produced a lot of innovation are ABB, SKF, IKEA, Spotify, Scania, Skanska, TeliSonera, AstraZeneca, for example, so ExxonMobil. So most of these names, I think you will be able to see in your home country as well. I'm sure about that because companies like Atlas Copco, SKF, Swedish Match, Volvo, Vattenfall, many of them have offices across different borders, and I'm 100% sure that Turkey is one of them. So as I said, I think the first thing you people are choosing is your country for your education, right? I mean, so you need to really understand what country has to offer, because if you don't understand what country has to offer, then it doesn't really make sense for you to invest into an education, because perhaps the education may be quite good, but maybe the country is not a good match for you. So you really need to understand that what country has to offer, so that when you make a choice for your education, so you are making sure that your choice for the country and the university are all perfectly done. So that's what I'm going to explain, some of the factors around Sweden, for example. So sustainability is one of those factors which I really like about and love about. And sustainability is, as the word suggests, you guys would be surprised to know one thing, that back in 1800, there was a Swedish physicist, Svante Arrhenius, and he, for the first time, he brought this concept of greenhouse effect. So imagine back in 1800, he was already, talking about how the greenhouse gases will have an impact on the environment. And this is which means that he was able to foresee what we are experiencing today in reality. So Sweden was far ahead when it comes to measuring these kind of things, and that is why you see that the love for nature, the love for clean environment, the love for sustainable options is enormously there in Swedish society. I mean, just giving a few examples around this. For instance, when it comes to heating of the houses, since Sweden is a very cold country, so we require quite strong heating, right? So many of the half of the district heating, for example, comes from the waste of the residue left from the logging or some other kind of industries. So which means that even those kind of raw material, which is left over from different kind of productions, is still reused into converting into energy, which is amazing. And half of the energy consumed anyways in Sweden comes from sustainable sources, and mostly wind energy and hydro energy, stuff like that. And some other smart stuff which Sweden is really praised about is, for example, if you look at SKF, which we mentioned in my last slide. So SKF as a company has incorporated corporate sustainability as part of their CSR. So which means that their strategy and the business development has to happen with this factor core focused So they cannot make money without making sure that the sustainability part is considered. So for example, even if they are across let's say even if they are in Turkey or anywhere in the world, they have to make sure that they follow their corporate social responsibility because it's incorporated into their strategy. So their mission and their actions everywhere across board would be similar. Innovation. This is another factor which I really love about Sweden. So, for example, if you there are a lot of these smart innovations which Sweden has produced, but quite often we do not really associate these innovations with Sweden. For example, dynamite. After which Alfred Nobel, after which the Nobel Prize was, named. So that's a Swedish innovation. Ultrasound, which is used for measuring the fetus of measuring the health of the fetus in a woman's womb. That's Swedish innovation. The pacemaker, which is used when your heart becomes not strong enough to pump blood into your body, so you kind of get pacemaker to fix that problem. And so that's Swedish innovation. The dialysis machine, which is used for transfusing new blood into your body because your kidneys have kind of failed to do that. So that's Swedish innovation. Spotify, which is used as a modern day, music listening and sharing platform. So that's a Swedish innovation. The color screen for graphics, which we use in computers, is a Swedish innovation. So a lot of different things. I mean, these are just a few which we have named over there. And so what I usually tell my audience or my students is that think about it. I mean, if we have innovation in front of us, or if Sweden is one of the most innovative countries in the world, so think about it, question yourself that if they are most innovative, which means that they would have a very strong R&D setup, right? And R&D is usually set up with the collaboration of academia and industry. Only then you can build smart innovations. And so if you have a smart R&D, and then which means that your R&D must be connected to your master's education, and then your master's education is connected to your bachelor's education, and your bachelor's education obviously is connected to your high school. So all of these layers have to be connected strongly enough to really produce the environment for innovation. Equality. This is also one of the factors which I really like about Sweden as a country. In this country, I think amazingly, women have more rights compared to men. I really believe so. And this is something I sometimes joke around with my wife as well, that, you have more rights. So I'm always, careful in dealing with her. But on a positive side, I think it's really good for women to come and select this country for their education, for instance. Why? Because you could feel secure, you could feel protected, you could also feel that you're given the right share of your, of participating into the economy. So, for example, if you graduate from this education system here in Sweden, so you could be, you're not going to be discriminated because you're a female or you come from a certain religion or ethnicity. You would be given equal opportunities. So that's really good. I think we have already spoken about Nobel Prize, so I'll just skip this slide. And this is where Jönköping is, as I was telling in the beginning, that Jönköping is, this is a Swedish map. So you can see that up in the north and down below in the south where Malmö is. So we are pretty down in the south. And if you see Jönköping, and then you can see Stockholm. And then if you go below Malmö, then it's Copenhagen over there, which is the capital of Denmark. And if you go further up from Gothenburg towards the left side, towards the western side, then it's Oslo. So if you have to measure the distance between Jönköping to Stockholm, Jönköping to Oslo, which is the capital of Norway, and Jönköping to Copenhagen, which is the capital of Denmark, you will see that Jönköping is connecting all these three capitals on almost equal distances. So that is why it's also the logistical hub for Scandinavia. It's considered that, and you'll find a lot of those kind of companies which are situated in this region. So so now I think these few factors were I wanted to share these few factors for Sweden as a country, that why Sweden, and now we can talk about why Jönköping, for example, because you're also choosing Jönköping to be your to select as a city where your education is going to be. So it's, first of all, it's beautifully located. Why? Because it's with the second largest lake called Lake Vättern. So there's a lot of water. If you love water, so this city offers a lot of water scenes. And in fact, the campus is also located almost on water. And wide range of leisure and sports facilities are there. Culture venues are there. And we have the same kind of modern facilities as you can find in any big city, basically. So more about Jönköping. It has 130,000 inhabitants living in this region, 11,000 of which are students, close to 10% of the population. And by CNN, for example, they did this study about the top 10 healthiest cities in the world. And quite remarkably, and we are very proud of that, as per that study, Jönköping was rated as one of the top 10 healthiest cities in the world to live in. So if you're looking for health, if you're looking to gain back your health, you can really select Jönköping to be the city, to really feel that thing, because of the clean environment, because of the policies around for elderly, policies around for the young generation, and the environmental rules and regulations, all of this. So all of these factors combine together to make it one of the top 10 healthy cities in the world. So we have DreamHack, which is, I don't know if you know about DreamHack, but it's one of the largest LAN party network where not students, but young people, mostly young people, come all around the world to be in Jönköping, and they participate together to play games on the networking. And those games are the computer games, right? And they, once you're playing those games, you are also getting really some kind of high kind of prizes, and it's kind of a real event happening. And this is one of the largest events which happens in Jönköping city. And the experience of going through this is just breathtaking. So if you as a young person are into gaming, or if you love to network around this, so this also is a city for you to really think about coming. Then, of course, we have music, culture, and entertainment. We have sports and canoeing, and that I can also show you later on. So this is how the city looks like, and if you can see this white round building and these yellow small building blocks along with it, so you can see that this looks like a key, and which is key to knowledge. So I usually say this, I think about it. I mean, if we were so concerned about how the architect of this building would look like when you see from the aerial view, so think about it, how much worried would we be to think about the quality of education we are teaching. And so as you can see, there's a lot of water. It's Lake Vättern, as I said, that it's connected with it. So it's beautifully located. It's a city center campus. It has almost going from this campus to anywhere is pretty simple. And we have 4 different schools. We have a School of Business, we have School of Engineering, we have School of Education and Communication, and we have School of Health and Welfare. So some short facts. I think we have covered a bit about it, but I'll just say mention a few extra things. We have 350 partner universities, which means that most of our students who come study with us, they have an option to go around in any of the countries across globe, which are leading universities in their respective countries and which are our partners, which means that if you become our student, you will be going to many of those universities without paying any fee for them. And quite often, many of those universities, since they are the leading universities in their respective countries, so they're quite expensive if you think about going by yourself over there. But if you come through us, that's a great benefit added into your experience of education with us. So we have 70 full professors, we have 830 employees, we have 200 PhD students, we have 80 different programs, and our students come from approximately 70 to 80 different countries. So we are ranked recently. We were ranked by Financial Times as to be one of the top 100 business schools teaching master's education in business. We were also given AAC as being Equus accreditation, which is one of the gold stamps you can receive in business education. We are ranked number 1 and number 3 globally in family business research. We are ranked number 3 in Europe and number 9 globally in entrepreneurship research. We are ranked number 2 in business / economics school in Sweden. So we are quite well positioned in those kind of things, and only 2% of the business schools, for example, have this double accreditation. And our engineering school also have this CDIO initiative trademark, which is a prestigious collaboration between leading engineering schools worldwide, started by MIT in USA. So, and the purpose for this initiative, this trademark initiative, is that it's only given to those universities which have not just academic focused, but they have a lot of practical focused. So that is why when you see our education, you will see that a lot of our education offers industry placements. So you're not just going to get experience from studying academically, but you're also going to get experience by working on real projects offered by real companies in real time. So that's the experience which gives a great benefit for students to come and think about joining their education with us. So as I said, we have a lot of practical work experience. These are some of the pictures you can see that we have practice in theory in action. We believe that the pedagogy of teaching should be in a way that combines practical and academics together in a very smart way. And then we also have field visits. Students get a lot of experience by participating in the classroom and also taking these kind of field visits during their lectures or during their study courses they are studying. So we have this World Solar Challenge, which happens every year in Australia, and this is a race which happens for 3,000 kilometers in Australia, where all universities, different universities from different parts of the world, come and compete together to win this kind of competition. And we have been competing in this race for the last few years. And we are very proud to say that our students have been doing fairly well, and they have been coming in top 10. So this is just an experience which you as a student can also experience, for example. And you saw that we had women and boys and girls together participating in this project. So this is a project run by students, for students, and managed by students. So if you become part of our universities, you could also dream about becoming part of this team, basically. Science Park. So we have, I don't know if you know about Science Park or not, but Science Park is a platform where if you are entrepreneurial, or if you have an idea which you think you want to create a business on, for example, you can always go to Science Park, get help on rules and regulations, the law part, and you know, talk about the funding sources, and you know, so all of these helps come for free from Science Park. And 70 enterprises are started every year by students, which is a good number. So yeah, so entrepreneurship is very strongly focused, not just in Sweden, but also very strongly focused in Jönköping region and by Jönköping University. So we have pretty strong international environment. As we spoke, we have a lot of partner universities. Our students come from 70 plus different countries. We have 800 host companies in business industry. We have real companies that come at our campus to have the HR, career fair. We usually call them student union-led exciting trips, which are quite expensive otherwise. But since they are done by student unions, so they are subsidized. So it becomes quite cheap for students to go through those kind of trips, and it's open for everyone to apply for. English is spoken by almost everyone living in this country. So in fact, I think English is the second largest language, which I kind of feel that it's spoken in Sweden. So we have a lot of bachelors. We have economics, we have international management, marketing management, sustainable enterprise development. So all of these 4 options are business-related options. And then we have engineering and healthcare-related. We have new media design, which is computer informatics. We have sustainable supply chain management, part of industrial engineering and management. Then we have prosthetics and orthotics, which are offered by the School of Health and Welfare. And this is when, people who have lost their limbs or legs or something. So we teach how to prepare these bionic arms and bionic legs. So we are teaching that education, basically. So we have a lot of master's education to offer. We have financial analysis, marketing, engineering management, logistics and supply chain management, applied economic and data analysis, digital business, global management, strategic entrepreneurship, interventions in childhood, which is part of School of Learning and Communication, sustainable communication, also for students who have media and communication or social studies background, global studies, sustainable societies and social change. We have learning, digitalization, and sustainability, and then we also have occupational therapy. And lastly, we also have a lot of engineering to offer. We have AI engineering, we have materials and manufacturing, we have product design, we have user experience design, we have production engineering and management, we have supply chain operations management, we have sustainable building information management, which is part of civil engineering, and then we have user experience design. I think this is an important information for students coming in from Turkey, because my experience is that quite often many students may require to study English before they can begin their education. But if your English is good enough, for example, if you have 6.5 IELTS or 90 TOEFL, for example, then you don't need to go through this pathway education. But perhaps if you don't have 6.5, let's say you have 5 or 5.5 or 6, then you will have to go through some kind of pathway education with us, which means that this is a pathway in English that helps you to get into a bachelor's or master's after finishing this education. So what are the requirements for the bachelor's, which are very simple? We have, we require high school diploma, transcript, passport copy, letter of motivation. So we can talk about these things more in detail once you make an application. And you can also get help through Global Vision, which is part of IEFT as well. So, or you can directly get in touch with me and I can help you to do that. It's very simple. And everything is online. You don't have to make a physical application. Everything is done online. It's a very straightforward process. And I can also, send you the details or the links where you can make the application. So you don't have to worry about it. So we are open right now from October 15 to May 2nd. So that was also the information for bachelor's. But for master's, for example, we require sorry. Oops. Yeah. So for master's, we require your obviously your finished bachelor's, or if you're still in your last semester or second last semester, you can still apply for a conditional admission. And similarly goes for the undergrad education. So if you're still studying at your high school, you can still apply and get a conditional offer from us, based on your already existing grades. So we kind of can give you that kind of offer. So if we speak about some kind of fee and scholarship, so bachelor tuition is 10 to 15,000 euros, depending on what you want to study. So if you're studying business, for example, then it's 10,000. If you're studying engineering, then it's 15,000 euros per year. But if you are thinking of planning to study master's education, that's between 12 to 15,000 euros. 12 is for the education at business, and 15 is for the engineering. And approximately less than 12 is the cost of education at School of Learning and Communication. And then we have Pathway Summer, Pathway Semester, and Pathway Year. There you can see a little bit higher fee, but all of these fee which you see on the pathway section is inclusive of your living. That includes your student accommodation cost, your lunch and dinner, your textbooks, your student union fee, and your extracurricular activities. So all of this is inclusive in this price. The application fee is approximately 100 euros. And then we also offer 30% scholarship, both for bachelor's and master's, for which you need to have a strong motivation letter. You need to have your strong academic grades. And then quite often we also interview our students. So you need to prepare well for the interview. And, it's a combination of few different things together that can help you to get this 30% scholarship, which is not guaranteed, but you can apply for it. And if your application is strong enough, you have a fairly good chance of getting it. So at your service, this is me, by the way, perhaps, and I'll be at your service. We have guaranteed accommodation. We have a free pickup service. We provide free health and accident insurance. We have largest exchange network. You're also allowed to work during your education. Not just this, you are also allowed to get 1 year of work visa to stay back in the country to find work after you finish your education. So a lot of those kind of benefits are there for you to think about. If you're planning to perhaps stay in this country in a long-term way, you can do that. And if you work in this country for 4 years, for example, you become a permanent resident. And if you work for 5 years, you can think about becoming a Swedish citizen, basically. So these are some of the videos which I will not play from here because I think there might be a problem with the sound, but I'm not so sure. Zainab, can I play the video?
Yes, please.
Okay, so let's see. Let me try playing this video and see if it works. Or maybe I'll have to share another screen. Just hold on. So give me 1 second, please. You cannot see my screen, right?
Yes, you have to stop sharing and then start your browser.
I will do that, and I will share screen, and so let's see if it works. So can you see this now?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so can you hear it?
Yes.
Fish adds
Can you hear it?
Yes, we can hear it.
Okay, perfect.
a certain sense of ambience to a room. It's a connection you get, like with a dog. Except the dog can come to you, you can feel its love. A fish you can't, it's distant love. So close but so far. My name is Imran Mulji. I'm born in Uganda, born to a Swedish father of Asian origin and a Kenyan mother of Ugandan origin. Went to a boarding school for 12 years, came out, worked, came to Sweden. You shouldn't take life too seriously, Things always work out. Jönköping has been a gem in my life. There's something about Jönköping that is just like home. Something lively about this city. I love it because it's small, it's practical, makes it easier for a man to go about his business. And the students, my days, I'm telling you, it's like a family here, I mean, I have friends today who, when I'm sick, they'll be knocking at my door, Those are the kind of people in Jönköping. Once I'm done, I believe that it is very important to reinvest knowledge where it is needed. I mean, how did the Chinese get rich? So I always wanted to go into the fishing industry, especially in South Sudan. The fish there are literally dying of age because no one is fishing. Fish has got plenty of opportunity, and what makes it even better is that it is the South Sudanese staple food. Future dreams? It would be nice to be rich. But, as I say, I also want a flying pony, but I can't have that as well. So, try and fail, right? But don't fail to try. So, that's me.
So I'll come back to the other screen back again, and we will. So let's come to the end of this presentation. So yeah. So this is the slide about the more motivational slide, and I got this motivational slide out of Zlatan, who's who Zlatan is, right? I mean, the Swedish footballer who's renowned for his bold remarks on field and off field, I would say. So, and one of his remark I really love about is, I do not need a trophy to tell myself that I'm the best. So if you really believe in yourself, you can become the best. So dream big and make it happen. And next step is, make an application, and you can think about coming to this beautiful fairyland picture, which is designed by one of our students. Thank you very much. So we can perhaps take questions now.
Yes, Jason. So we have a couple of questions in the questions section.
Okay, let's do that. And so Ifihan is asking, thank you for the, are there any dormitory service at school? Yes, so we have, in Sweden, the living is quite different than you might be used to thinking about the US or other Western countries, for example. And so in Sweden, we have a lot of these kind of buildings where you would be living in an apartment, for example, and that could be shared between 3 or 4 people because there are 3 or 4 different rooms in an apartment, and the whole building is a student accommodation basically. And then we also have a dormitory kind of living where you will find a lot of rooms on one single dorm, and then a common kitchen and common washroom for bathing, for example. So we have those kind of options, and the best part is that we guarantee accommodation. So that is just amazing. You don't have to worry about for your accommodation when you begin your education at Jönköping University. So Mustafa is asking, if we can't come to master's with a scholarship, is it possible to get a scholarship while studying? Thank you, Mustafa, for the question, but unfortunately, it's not possible to get scholarship while you're studying. So you need to apply for scholarship before you come down here, and we will give an answer before you begin your education. So you already have answer with you. So that's not so much possible to get scholarship after you start studying with us. Duolingo, yeah, I mean, I can, on our website, you can find some links, which I can also leave here. So which can tell you what kind of exemptions are there on what kind of English tests. So we have a lot of, different options. So if you fulfill one of those criteria, you could be coming to our university without the English test. So Chakla is, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I'm currently a second-year industrial engineering student. Can I complete my remaining 2 years there? Yes. How can you do that? If you want to do a credit transfer, for example, then you need to think about applying from the beginning at our university. We cannot give this answer beforehand, but after you come to study with us and from the very beginning, you will set up a meeting with the academics office, and they will look into all the details of the courses you have studied along with the curriculum of those courses. So you need to make sure when you come down to begin your education at JU, you need to bring all of that information, which is official information from your school. So based on that, quite often, if they are very similar courses to what you're going to study, you could get a lot of exemptions. So that's possible. So Bikir is asking about my bachelor's degree in economics, and I will graduate in July 2021 in management information systems. Do I have a chance to do my PhD at Jönköping? Well, first of all, PhD education in Sweden is how do you say this? It's like a job offered. So if you are planning to apply for a PhD education, it's not so simple because so every time we have a position available, we usually, what do you say this? We usually upload that position on our website, and so you cannot really apply for PhD in like a regular master's or bachelor's, but you can always begin to search for our website or other university websites to see if there are any positions open right now. So where you can make a normal application. Why? Because in Sweden, we cannot charge fee for PhD education. And in fact, PhD education is paid education. So which means that you will be paid by university or some kind of a funding coming in for your research here. So thanks for your present. I do not have a satisfactory bachelor's GPA. Amir Hussein is asking about it. Yet I'm greatly interested in sustainable based area this university is offering. How are the chances for me to, with good IELTS score and job experience in HSC, to be accepted in the courses? Okay, first of all, I think I don't know what satisfactory is for you, but the thing is that if you apply early in time, since we have a rolling admissions, so it's I would say that I think if you need to make an application to be able to, for us to assess that. And if you make an application early in time, the better the chances are for you to get into the university. And the other stuff, we don't read about. I mean, we can read about your job experience and other stuff, but that's not the criteria for the admissions. However, that could be a criteria for example, if you want to apply for scholarship or something. So these things might help you for that. Do I find job easily after master graduation? Do you have relationship with some company for engineering? Yes, Ismail. I think we have a career center, and then also we have a lot of courses in engineering, which are industry placement courses, which means that you are going to be doing real projects offered by real companies during your education. So you will have an enormous amount of experience while you're studying with us, and who knows, you might have created a really good relationship in some of those projects you have done with the companies, and they're usually looking for those kind of smart brains. And in engineering, my experience is that it's quite, I mean, in relation to business education, it's perhaps more easier to find work because in engineering, quite often the local language doesn't, it's not usually considered, but it's still quite important for you to learn that. I'm a student of electrical engineering and electronics engineering. I'm interested about AI engineering. Yes. So Ismail, once again, so he's asking, why should I choose Jönköping University instead of KTH or Lund or Chalmers? What is your difference about engineering? So if you are talking about AI engineering, for example, so I can tell you that we are quite advanced in AI engineering. And our AI engineering not only offers real projects for you to work on, but also we offer, what do you say this, the possibility, if you're doing good in your education, the possibility to apply for PhD after you have finished your master's. So this PhD education is paid education. So that's a window which is out there for you. And just imagine getting yourself taught by a university which is offering you real work experience during your education. It is by itself quite remarkable. So and which is quite helpful for finding work as well. Do your universities and government institutions, sorry, I just remember one other point, and this is basically a generic point for everyone, basically. So think about it. I mean, let's say if I take this AI example of engineering, then you are going to spend about 30,000 euros for 2 years of time. So which is, it might look more, for people coming in from Turkey. But if you think about that, how much will you earn after you finish your education and find work, for example? So people who have finished AI engineering, for example, they could be thinking about anything between 3,500 euros to easily 4,500 euros. And I think I'm quite being pessimistic here. So even if you're earning 3,500 euros per month, you will be making 42,000 euros in 1 year of time. And whereas you have spent only 30,000 euros in 2 years of time. So think about it. Think about the balance. So where you are spending only 30,000 euros, but you're earning 42,000 euros in 1 year of time. So the return on your investment is quite strong. And that is why it makes a lot of sense for you to plan and do this. Do your university and government institutions guidance to find job? Yes, quite often we have, as I said, we have a career center, and also we have your program managers could be helpful in that gateway, and also we have a network of alumni who could be quite useful in opening different kind of doors. So it's different kind of avenues you could use after your education to really find work. And as I said, I mean, based on these kind of real education experiences on real projects and internships and a career center we have at Jönköping University and the alumni, you are bound to get enough help to really think about finding work in this country. Can we apply to master's degree different than our graduated bachelor degree? Okay, so the thing is that I think the best thing for you to do is to make sure that you have read all the requirements for our education. So if you want to study whatever master's education or a bachelor's education, please make sure that you have read the requirements we have mentioned on our website. And once you think about that, you fulfill that criteria, only then make an application. And if you're not so sure about that, you're most welcome to send me an email along with your transcripts, and I can look at it and give an answer before you make an application. And your other part of your question talks about how long is the residency if we have work if we have after that master. Okay, so you kind of get 1 year of a visa to stay back in the country after you finish your education to find work. But this doesn't mean that you cannot find work during your education. You can still find your work during the education, but however, this is just the extra benefit which you get after you finish your education. So the opportunity is quite strongly there. Is there any age limit to have master? No, there is no age limit. GPA limit, yes, there is, but it also depends what kind of GPA you have. I mean, if it's as I said before, I mean, if you think it's low, don't worry about it. I think you should make an application because sometimes it depends upon how many people are applying and how many seats are available and when in time are you making an application, etc., etc. So things like that can help getting your admission at Jönköping University. Well, I think Mustafa, again, I think since you have done computer engineering, AI engineering would be a good fit for you, or user experience design could also be a good fit for you. But go around other kind of education we are offering. I mean, if you think that there's something else that excites you, we can talk about it later. Every master program we are offering is in English language. So, and the good thing is that if you come for 2 years or more than 2 years of education in Sweden, you could potentially get to study Swedish for free, offered by the municipality of Jönköping. So you don't need to pay for that education. So if you're coming in for 2 years or more than 2 years of education, then this is a service which is offered by municipality, and it's a great service which can also help you to learn basic language to really land on work after you finish your education. How many years can we live and work in Sweden after master's degree? So for example, you can, Mohammed, you can live in Sweden as long as you want to if you have a permanent work offered, for example, so you can live here permanently, obviously. But the rule says that if you work in this country for 4 years, you become a permanent resident. And if you work for 5 years, you become a citizen of this country. Okay, so I think these were the questions. Is there anyone else who would like to ask for any question? Zainab,
Hi,
you know,
Jason. We have a couple of new questions at the top. Are you able to see it?
okay, just hold on. Let me go back on the top. Okay, how can we get in touch with you for further upcoming questions? Yes, so maybe I can, go in the chat function and I can write to everyone my email address. So this is my email address, and then I'm also leaving my mobile number, and which means that you can get in touch with me on WhatsApp. So this is my Swedish mobile number, and this is my email address, and it's on the chat function to everyone, so you can see that. And what I can do is later on, after we are done with this webinar, I will get the information on you people, and I will send a file for our Jönköping University brochure, which is quite helpful file for you to look at. And also what I'll do is I'll send you some other useful information through that email. So going back to the questions tab, I finished environmental engineering. What is your suggest for me for a master's degree? I think, Irman, best thing is that if you send me your transcript on the email address I have given you and ask me this question over there, I can help you with that, because I might need to check with admissions on that after looking at your transcript. How is visa policy? So Irman, a visa is quite easy to get. And once you have been admitted and you have paid fee for your education, which is only 1 semester fee, then there is a process for showing money in your personal account for getting the visa. So that's just like a show money, which you have to show before you can apply for your residence permit for your studies. So approximately, it's about, we require 860 euros multiplied by 12, which is approximately what, maybe close to 10,000 something euros, which you need to have in your personal account if you want to apply for 1 year of visa. But if you want to apply for 2 years of visa to come in this country, doesn't really matter if you're coming for 2 years of education or 1 year of education or 3 years of education, you still have a choice to make an application for 1 year or 2 years. If you make an application for 2 years, then you need to show double the amount of this money, approximately, I think 21 or 22,000 euros in your personal account. What can impress to take scholarship? Well, a strong motivation letter, your good interview, I would say, and of course your GPA and your, how did you do your academics? All of these are a combination which can help for scholarship. So an interview is quite oftentimes quite important actually. Is there job guaranteed and master's job guarantee? Okay. Then master's work permit and internship either university. Yes. So first of all, we don't guarantee work after your education. However, as I said, your education is already designed with industry placement courses. So which means that during your education, you will be working with real companies on real projects, number one. Number two, we have a career center, so that can help you in getting those kind of linkages. And number three, as I said, Swedish economy is very strong. And so there is a lot of job, in the market. And if you have perhaps, done good in your education, if you have good, references from your professor and on the projects you have worked on, you have a very high chances of finding work in this country. Thank you. Are there any? Okay, so we are back to the original question. So let's see if Is there any admission for staying professor at university there? Okay, I think these are some of the things which becomes much easier if you're here at a university. But if you want to come directly as a professor teaching in the university, if I've understood you correctly, then you need to find that kind of possibility, because you need to see that if we as a university are offering that possibility or not. So is there any more questions coming in?
I think you covered all of the questions, Yasim.
Yeah.
Also, you left your email in the chat box.
Yeah, and I'm just, I was thinking of dropping this file, but it's asking me to drop, the file through the Dropbox or the Google Drive. And I don't have, it's on my computer, so I don't know if I'm allowed to, drop a file through my computer. I don't think so, right?
Yeah, you're not able to share a file through this platform, but you can send it through the data we will give you.
Of course. I'll do that.
All right, so thank you very much for
and thank you, Muhammad, and thank you, everyone. Thank you, Zainab. Thank you, Hazel.
Thank you, Jasim, for yet another great session. So it was a really informative webinar for the attendees. And also I would like to thank the participants in Turkish as well. Katıldığınız için teşekkür ederiz arkadaşlar. Jönköping University ile ilgili diğer sorularınız için chat kısmında paylaşılmış olan mail adresinden Jasim'e ulaşabilirsiniz. Umarım sizin için de faydalı bir webinar olmuştur. Aynı zamanda sizi altıdaki webinarımıza da davet etmek isteriz. Thank you very much again, Jasim. It was a pleasure to have you in IEFT Talks.
Teşekkürler.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.